Okay, now you are able to see, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is what we have, a new chapter. I just want you to take down the name of the chapter in your rough note. That is the story of village Palampur. This is your first economics chapter. So the story of the village Palampur. Okay, now have you heard about this a village called
Ma'am.
Palampur anywhere in our India?
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, now if you go through the textbook, it says that this is a imaginary story. This is a imaginary story
Okay, ma'am.
what the people have given. But if you see in reality, there is a place called Palampur in our Himachal. That is a Himachal Pradesh. If you go, there's one hill station, a small hill station by name Palampur. But this story is not about that. Okay, if you are or mute your audio, videos also, children. I can see a few videos here. Okay, so this is an imaginary story, okay, of a village, but in reality there is a city. But we're not talking about the real city which is there in your country. Okay, in your country, in Himachal Pradesh, is a hill station called Palampur, but not about that. This is about a imaginary village. So by knowing about this village, we are going to learn about entire India. So whatever you learn in this village, applicable to the entire India. That is what is the story is about. We have. Okay. Now, what you're going to learn in this story is, okay. So first is this Palampur village you're going to learn. As I already told you, it is an imaginary story. Now, Palampur village, as per this, okay.
When is this one?
Yes, children. Okay. So this Palampur is a very,
Excuse me, ma'am, you're not audible.
okay.
Yes, ma'am, your voice is getting cut.
Now, children, now
Not cut, stuck.
Yeah, same.
Nancy, ma'am.
you're able to hear me, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Ma'am, will you send this in WhatsApp?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, children, I'll be sending it. Okay.
Ma'am, should we write this?
No need of writing this. Just listen. Okay. Just know the important points. Okay. Just take down the important points and you just listen to. This is just like a story we are going to learn. So here we have a story. Now this village, if you see, it is just connected. So this points you can take down. Children, as I tell you, take down. You can take it points. Okay. Now first point is Palambur village. Okay, is a village which is near to one more big city or a town by name is Raigad. Name of the town. Okay, Raigad and Shapur. Okay, these two cities name you take down. Now these two cities are near to Palampur village. Okay, Palampur is a village which is connecting to nearby city, and the name of the two city is Raigarh and Shapur. So this is one keyword I just want you to take down. Okay. Now, what are the second point? What are the people? Okay. Now, this people of this village are involved in two main activities. Okay, the people are involved in two economic activity. One is called as farming activity. They are doing it, and one more is non-farming activity. Now, what are these two? We will be learning as we go further. So, the people of Palampur village are doing two economic activity. One is the farming activity and one is the non-farming activity. So this is about the interaction of the village. Little more about the village if you see. Okay, third point you take down is that village has nearly 450 families. So though the village is small in size, but there are 450. So take down in your third point, 450 families are living in this village called Palampur. So 450 families are living, and here there are also upper caste. Okay, now in my thing, what I've learned about your Vedic times, you remember the upper caste like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Shudra.
Yes, ma'am.
The last one is the Shudras. for Vaishyas. Now, like that, in this village also there is a caste division. That is what they want to mention here. Okay, why the purpose of caste came is to show that most of the villages in our India, even after so many years of independence, so much of law passed, still we follow the caste system. So that is the purpose of putting this point in this story. That is, in this village there are upper caste people, and as you know, upper caste people are always a little bit of wealthy people. Now that is what they are, the people who live in very high-fi one. They have a good large houses. Their houses are built with bricks and cement plastering. So you might have seen in villages, or why is this word brick plastering was mentioned, is even now you go to most of the villages, children, the standard of living is not so good. Still people live in the thatched house, or they not as concrete houses. But here, if you see people of Palampur, they had a only upper caste I'm talking about. The rich people had good houses. But along with the rich people, there are also SCs. Okay, so in this village of Palampur, upper caste are also there. 80 upper caste is there, but majority of them are a Shudras. They are, that is the Dalits. Okay, can you see they have written the word? Nearly 1/3 of the population are SC/ST, which means most of the people here are SC/ST people. And but the problem is they live in one corner of the village, which means they are not allowed to live along with the other people in the village of Palampur. Separately in the corner of the village, these people are allowed to stay, because you know the reasons. All you already learnt in your lower classes. They
Yes,
were
ma'am.
even now also. It's not something and not happening I'm talking about. Even now you go to any village, this is how people are treated and kept aside. So even in the Palampur village also same story is going on. But if you see the houses of this Dalit, it's totally different. Here you have smaller houses, okay, and still people live, the houses are built with mud and straw. So this is a two different lifestyle of the people of Palampur. So is it clear with the people of Palampur how they are living? Rich one side and poor one side. Rich are dominating, poor are ill-treated, and they're kept aside, though they are more in number. So this is a situation of Palampur. Okay, children. Okay. The next thing is, though it is a village, the village is not something like outdated. Okay, this village of Palampur also has certain facilities. So the next point is, you can just write the heading as facility. Okay, I just want you to write the heading as facility. Now here, what are the facilities the Palampur village have it? So here you have you have electricity connection. So there is a good electricity connection in this village. Then electricity is also connected not only to their village, even to their houses, but even to their fields. Okay, even to their field. Why do you need a field electricity, children? Why do a farming field need electricity?
Those
Ma'am,
To
for
pump the water from the
drinking.
borewell,
Because
ma'am.
you know, yeah, to
Pump
irrigate,
the water from
yeah,
borewell.
to irrigate the,
Irrigation.
yeah, for irrigation you need a
Here
water.
the puppets live.
And most of our Indians, as you see, we always depend on monsoon. So whenever the monsoon fails, the alternative you have is the bore wells or a tube wells. So to pump the water, we need the electricity. So here, Palampur village house, not only house has electricity, even the fields have electricity. The reason for that is to pump or for the tube wells. For that is the purposes. Now there are also, can you see a various type of, I told you, remember I used the word non-farming activities. Okay, so
Yes,
even
ma'am.
for non-farming activities like small machines run, all that you will be learning. So even that need electricity. So even electricity is not only goes to a field, but also for a small scale industries also it goes. So this is about. Then village also has a school. As you know, school is also most important village. So village of Palampur, so just mentioned, they have two primary schools and one high school. So primary is something from 1 to 7 standard is a
7.
primary level. So there are primary schools in village of Palampur and one high school, that is from 8 to 10. Okay, the next facility is they also have a health facility. So there is also a primary health center run by the government. and there's also one private, that is, there is also one private dispensary, something like a clinic. Okay, so there are both government hospital as well as a private clinic or a small hospital to take care of the sick. So do you think that this village is well equipped with all the facilities, children, after learning these three slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So village of
The
Palampur,
basic needs
yeah,
are there.
like most of the villages also have facilities. So this is what they want to tell you in the beginning of the chapter, that village of Palampur is well equipped with all facilities like electricity, schools, hospitals, and even there are also good
Yes.
roads also. Okay, so these are the few things about that. Is it clear with the introduction about the chapter, children? The how is the Palampur? We're able to
Yes, ma'am.
imagine the village now after reading all this.
Yes, ma'am.
Is what. Now
Yes,
we'll go
ma'am.
on to the main topic of our
Yes.
chapter, that is what are the as you know, farming activity means what is the meaning of farming activity?
Agricultural
Cultivation.
activities.
Yeah, farming
Cultivation.
Agricultural
comes to the
activities
important,
performed by the
yeah,
farmers.
yeah. For farming activity means the agriculture or the farming work what the people are doing. Okay, now this is what the people are doing. Now here, what you're going to learn from this story of Palampur is that any activity, any economic activity you undertake, you need to have certain factors. So that is only called, remember in your lower class you might have learned about factors of production in economics.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is your year, the what you're going to learn? The people of Palampur, to do their a farming activity, they need certain things. So this is what are the certain things, that is the organization of production, or one more name for organization of production is factor of production, which means every economic activity takes place only with all these things. If these things are not there, you cannot do any activity. So what is that? First one we have is the land is the first economic factor of production. Second one is labor. Third one is capital. Now all those 3 points, the third point as well as all this can be put under heading called capital.
Ma'am, what is capital, ma'am?
I'll tell
The
you each
basic
one.
money.
I'll tell you each one as we learn. We're going to learn each one. Okay. Now just understand, for agricultural activity, you need three important factors. One is the land, labor, and the capital. So these are the three important ones. Land, labor, and capital are the three important factors of production. Okay, in order to do any economic activity. Okay, is it clear, children? Okay, now we'll move
Yes.
on to the first factor, the land. Okay, this already know. The first requirement to do any farming is land is a very important one. Can we do farming on in any air or anything? We cannot do.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So the first factor what a person need to do to grow crops is a land. A land does not include means only the land. All the natural factor we can call it as a land. So here land means not only the surface land, most of the natural resources are called as land. So all natural resources comes under the category of land, that is water, forest, minerals, all they are called as land. Is it clear? The first factor is land, you need to grow the crops. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Second one you need is a labor. That is also the most important one. The labor, that
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
people to work. Okay. Now few activities, if you see, you need qualified skilled labor and unskilled labor. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But farming requires what type of
Ma'am,
labor?
skilled
Skilled.
labor, ma'am.
Skilled.
Okay.
Skilled,
Yeah.
ma'am.
In few cropping, you need a skilled laborers, but few places for plowing all, even if you know the basic things about farming, you can do it. Okay. For especially for tea plantation, for tea harvesting, all you need a skilled laborers. Okay. But here for simple agricultural work, okay, even if you have a little bit of qualified people who know basic things, how to sow, how much to plow a field, because even the plowing of a field requires, you cannot go too deep in plowing and only do little bit of plowing, because the each seed requires so much of centimeters to be put inside the mud. So you have labor. So the second factor what is required to do any work is the laborers. It can be a qualified laborers as well as you also have a skill. Now, is there a difference between educated workers and skilled workers, children, or both are same?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, that's the
Ma'am,
difference.
both
Yes,
are
ma'am.
same actually, ma'am.
Is it
No,
so
both are
actually?
different.
Ma'am,
There is a
Ma'am, they
difference.
both are different.
Ma'am, if
Yeah.
they're
They both.
educated only, they can be skilled, ma'am.
It's not like
It's
that.
not
There are
like that.
so
It's
many
not.
uneducated also can be a skilled. Skilled is related
Yes,
to
ma'am.
talent.
Talent
Children,
means
educated,
the working capacity, no, ma'am.
but
No,
still there are
it
so
depends
many,
on talent.
you have in our India so many people who have not done their basic school learning or schooling, but still they are so much well versed. Okay, so there are. Okay, so there are so many things we can. So there's a difference between educated as skilled. So educated is related to degrees or that is the studies. Skilled is related to talent, children. So there is a difference. You cannot say both are same. There is some percentage of difference.